So this is my Smackdown review. I didn't really like this show. It was the go home show for a lot of PLEs, Evolution and Saturday Night's Main Event, which was technically not a PLE. I think it showed that they have not adjusted as much to the 2 hour format again, and also that they never really adjusted to the 3 hour format also, and also that they didn't really care about this episode. They just want to like get away from it because their main focus is SummerSlam, and you can see that like you had a fatal four-way match which was good. I think there were no watches except from like Kyrie and Roxanne kind of like not being able to get into spots at the same time. Some things from Kyrie, but overall a good match. I didn't like that Kyrie got pinned, but you had a comical fall from Joe Tessitore. You also had her giving the double soul snatcher. So things happened. It's just that why did this match happen? It's kind of like if this was a tag team feud, it would have been one from the another tag team, another from the another tag team, and them having a singles match. Oh, they have a fatal four-way tag match, so we'll just have a fatal four-way singles. So it's kind of like it's bereft of like creativity. It's just like we need to fill time, so we are doing this. One thing that it did do, like it gave the main roster a glimpse of what Soul Ruka can be, because they didn't really give Zarya much. Like Zarya tried to attack Raquel, but then she was thrown on the announce table and everything. And one thing also that I don't get, I get like they had a backstage segment also where they were all like, we are not friends, we are allies of convenience. But then when they're coming towards the ring, they're acting like best friends. And there's no like hesitation there. Like for weeks that you've been seeing, like they've not been anything like remotely close to friends, and here they're just hugging each other, everyone is helping each other, Charlotte looking like a cowboy. I think something is gonna happen at Evolution, because otherwise this like sudden jump to being like buddy buddies doesn't make sense to me. Though this can be that Charlotte is doing this because she has gotten a title opportunity now. Alexa, you can kind of make sense because she has been the one who has been trying to get Alexa on, get Charlotte on her side. But this shows me that they are not going to win. And I think probably what's going to happen is that things are not going to work out. Roxanne and Raquel will win. First of all, when Roxanne screams so much, man. But she's a great heel. She's a heel, even if she loses, I don't think it will harm her that much. But in the end, she didn't get pinned, nor did Sol Ruka get pinned. I don't like that Kyrie got pinned. And we can see the breakup of two tag teams. Like I don't think Kabuki Warriors are lasting that long. I think Asuka is probably turning heel soon. And probably this tag team is not gonna last long. I think this tag team will reform again. Probably later in the year, it will have to do something with the WYATT 6, and I think you'll get a significant character change from Charlotte. Then they'll come together and probably win the tag team championships. But right now, I think they'll probably after Evolution they're going to be involved in the US title stuff, because otherwise you don't have anything apart from the same Zelina, Chelsea, Michin, Piper stuff. You really don't have much. Then you also had, like, you can see because of the jelly roll stuff, like things happened very quick, like the Trish Stratus and Tiffany segment, which was like a whole load of nothing. One thing also is that Trish is much better as a heel on the mic, because she actually like has to like then put some voice, like some bass in that voice. Otherwise she just sounds like she's having a conversation like during a barbecue or something, like. And it's the basic that we are friends and everything, but then Naomi comes out, but she gets interrupted by Jade. They have a quick little brawl and it's over. Like I was talking about on Raw how that there have not been any pull apart brawls, and we had like a couple of them. Like we had in the main event also, but that was the build of Evolution. So it was, I would say, like pretty rushed. Like even you saw with the R Truth, Alistair Black stuff. Like I think probably if that Jelly Roll segment didn't go for long, it probably would have been a lot more longer. R Truth won, and I was like, what? Is Alistair Black buried or what? But then he's not buried, but this is a very peculiar way to get where we are going, because then backstage you had Alistair Black trying to attack Truth, because earlier like referee tried to stop him, but then Damien stopped him and was like, Alistair, it's fine, you lost. This was like, what is this emotional lovey-dovey stuff that is happening? Like, big man, like what? Stop! Like, and then Alistair like faked him, hit him with that square X combo, like knee combos, first to the face, then to the side, and then a black mass, and he was like, "Now I'm through." So this is probably the start of heel Alistair Black, and I think they need to do stuff with R Truth also, and I think it's probably going to be related to this feud only, because otherwise, what else can he do? And they have made him win here. Like, he has not lost since he has come back. Like, he won against John Cena due to disqualification. He won here with a roll up. And if you can find a way to get like Carmelo Hayes along with the Miz in this stuff, maybe turn this into like whoever like goes out on top between this like mid card like skirmish happening between all these people, maybe get them into that US title division. I think that's good. I think you can do good stuff with that. It's just that I need to know what's the end goal. Like, end goal is to get Alistair Black over. Like what is our Truth's role here? I do hope they find a way to get Carmelo along with the Miz into this stuff. Let's see, like this is probably setting up Black and Priest at SummerSlam, and R Truth will be involved there. I do think R Truth's new character is kind of like, he's friendly, but he's not really friends. So I think probably when Damien Priest will be down and R Truth will have a chance to help him, R Truth just won't. I think, and then R Truth will be like, I'm not here to make friends, I'm here to make money, which since returning is that he is serious R Truth now, and Damien Priest is like a big reminder to who our Truth was before he got fired. You know, the funny character. So I do think they can do good stuff with it. And the jelly roll segment, I like Logan Paul stuff, like you have your kids tattoos but you don't have custody of them, and then him being one of the celebrity wrestlers but then acting like he's like a full-time wrestler and saying that I don't like you celebrities coming here and taking our spotlight and everything, and you have people legit cross over this, like saying that you are this also. Of course he is, but he's a heel. He's playing up that. And then you had Jelly Roll saying that, Nashville doesn't care about your damn podcast. And then Randy Orton came out, which is one because they had a earlier like shaking hands or something. And then Randy Orton put the same energy in this promo that he did when he first feuded with John Cena over the undisputed title. Like, you're gonna ruin pro wrestling, and then when he was like, I'm going to do everything to become the undisputed champion again, and he's putting that same energy. I'm like, why is Randy Orton so fucking angry? Like, he's putting the same anger that he has like getting the 15th world title in this, like him saying that you are talking about part-time blah 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 blah. I think probably Triple H thinks he's a genius, because he probably thought that anyways these two guys, Randy and Drew, are going to be involved in the undisputed title after SummerSlam. I want to get a celebrity appearance also, so why not like put those two things together, that way this feud can elongate as well, and also like nobody really loses anything then, and I can also put my celebrities there also, so we'll get wider eyes, and that these guys are veterans so they will protect them in the ring. He probably thinks he is like a genius for this, and I'm like, no, nobody cares. Like, I don't want to see Drew McIntyre teaming up with Logan Paul. Like, that goes against everything Drew McIntyre has stood for. Like, Drew McIntyre doesn't like Logan Paul at all. And I think that's what's probably gonna happen at Saturday Night, at SummerSlam, because you're gonna have Jelly Roll there at Saturday Night's main event. What's probably gonna happen is Drew, it's either gonna end up in a double disqualification, something like that, or Drew is gonna win by distractions or something, or maybe he's gonna lose by distraction against Randy Orton, and then at SummerSlam it's probably gonna be Drew getting fed up of Logan Paul leaving, and probably then Jelly Roll hits him with a choke slam, Randy Orton hits him with an RKO, and that's it. And then they both are just forgotten about, and then you insert both Randy and Drew into the undisputed championship scene if Cody Rhodes is the champion, and that's what's probably gonna happen. I do think the shows going forward will be better, but then you only have John Cena for like 1 week. Maybe they'll announce another, but he's filming, so I don't know how much, because you have 3 weeks of build for SummerSlam after Saturday Night's main event. But the thing is, Cena is there only for the week after. I don't know how much you can do with him there. One thing also, like Solo Sikoa calling his family faction like my family tree is very bad. It sounds very childish. It sounds like the learning tree. I don't know, a group of like wild savage, like wild people, not being racist, like wild, like they are there to like kill everyone and everything. They are called the family tree. Just call them MFT. If someone asks you what the full form is, say my family tree. But otherwise, they should be just called the MFT. And you, that's what happened. Like LA was pretty funny in the opening segment, like doing the old prompt, like calling Seth Rollins washed and everything. I think the problem with the bloodline stuff is when they are involved against each other, you don't really mind it. It's just that when they're involved against other people, because it's the same stuff, they are not that very good of, wrestlers. You have the same boring feud and the same boring finishes. With the Judgment Day, at least, is like at sometimes you get good writing, most times you get fine wrestling, and like it feels does not feel like the same thing over and over again. Here it does kind of feel that. And one thing that I really like is that the Wyatt Six are the tag team champions. I didn't expect it to happen, but I was like, if they're doing this match again, like they're not doing this to have it end in a disqualification. It's just not what WWE does. You had Andrade and Ray Phoenix watching. I think this match was, I think this people in the crowd liked this match better than it really was. Like you had like good pinfall spots, but there were like stretches of the match where things got really quiet. I think it's because during the ad commercial also they were going a little bit so, and like I can see it because I'm on Netflix, most of it I can see it. So maybe that's why, but they had good spots. In my opinion, I would have probably liked this to end in like another disqualification, and then you have like Uncle Howdy and Eric Rowan stepping over, being like this is enough. We are not gonna have any more disqualification. We're gonna step up. Maybe then get like a SummerSlam ladder match, a six-team ladder match, which I think is gonna happen anyways. But the Wyatt Six won, and in the end, Street Profits like looked very well, especially like Angelo Dawkins doing the hot tag, him like doing the toe pick on Hilo, Montez following Montez for doing the weird noises, doing all the high flying moves and everything. One thing is that the Wyatt Six, especially Joe Gacy and Dexter Loomis, they have to like increase their speed in the ring because they're not that intimidating apart from all the gimmick stuff. So to have that intimidating factor, they do have to speed up because otherwise they just feel like people in makeup who are considerably slow than the other tag teams. Like it kind of breaks the illusion and gives the edge to the other tag teams in the ring. But overall, in the end, you had some ref distraction. Eric Rowan like flattened Montez Ford, and then in the ring, they hit him with the finish, and it's over. And I think probably what's gonna happen is next week or the next to next week, you're probably gonna have Andrade and Ray Phoenix versus Wyatt Six for the tag titles. I said it in the previous episodes that that's what they're setting up this for, like Andrade and Ray Phoenix to be the first challengers. Like it makes sense. And because both of them announced that they are in the SmackDown tag team division officially, and you had all the other tag teams going crazy, especially DIY, like being like, we will the tag division, we should leave and everything. I hope for a better reaction from Motor City. Like, he betrayed you, like the DIY betrayed you. You should like beat his ass. But aside from that, like this shows that the writers on SmackDown really like the SmackDown tag team division, because they gave this match a long time, and then they also gave this segment good enough time that you can call this a segment. Like, you had two like segments related to the match, like one normal segment and one long match. So this feels like, yeah, they're giving them time. And I think probably what's going to happen is you're gonna have the whole of the SmackDown tag team division come out. DIY isn't it what only will cause Andrade and Phoenix to lose, and I think you're gonna have like a big brawl and anything, and then Nick Aldis will announce that you will have a six-team ladder match at SummerSlam. Like, and it makes sense also. You have a two-night SummerSlam. It's like a second WrestleMania. You will not make the same mistake of not having them on the card again. Like, and in the end, even when the WYATT Six eventually will retain those titles at SummerSlam, it will still keep the other people strong, because first is a ladder match and second they are like five, so it will. One thing is they do need to shuffle some teams around, because you have six teams on Raw. So it's just that three teams are pretty much irrelevant, because first, they're not on television. Second, they just get jobbed out to everyone. And the top three teams, Viking Raiders, American Made, and the Judgment Day, they get jobbed out like every time. Like, they get jobbed out, like they have been involved with each other for a while, so it kind of gets boring. And I do think American Made is probably going to stay there. I can see New Day being drafted to SmackDown. I can see probably DIY going to Raw, and I can see probably maybe they put the Motor City Machine Guns on Raw as well, and you get New Day and maybe New Catch Republic or Austin Theory and Grayson Waller on SmackDown as well. And I do think that turn is gonna happen. Theory Grayson Waller turn is probably gonna happen either at Crown Jewel or near Crown Jewel, because they're gonna have Waller on the show. Like, they have two Australian talent, like two legit Australian talent, which is Rhea Ripley and Grayson Waller. They're not gonna have them on the show. So I do think probably these teams can get drafted around. Maybe you put Pretty Deadly on Raw as well, and get like Grayson and Theory there. I think that's what's probably gonna happen going forward. I do think Praxium is gonna stay here. I think eventually the aim would be to, like, Praxium becoming the team from the SmackDown Tag Team Division, being the ones to defeat the Wyatts for the Tag Team Championship, maybe at WrestleMania. I think that's what the direction is. And one thing is, then I think probably I liked the main event a lot, and I think the finish was actually very creative. Like, it kept everyone strong, and it further storylines. I really liked the tag match between LA Knight and uh, Jimmy Uso versus Solo and JC Mateo. One thing is, like, they need to let JC Mateo fly free. He just looks like another goon, and the thing is, now you have Tala Tonga there also, so he gets hidden more than usual. And in the match, like, I expected when Jimmy hit the splash that the match is over, but then it wasn't. And in the end, you had Paul Heyman come out, him looking at his phone, showing LA Knight the phone, and then saying LA Knight, yeah, which was very funny. And then from the back, you had Tala Tonga hit LA Knight with the big boot. One thing was that referee also looking at Tala Tonga hitting the boot to LA Knight, because his face was there when like Solo got distracted, and Solo was distracted because it's Paul Heyman. But then LA Knight, I think it's Jimmy Uso, rolls him up and takes the win. And people are saying that it's bad booking that Solo is getting pinned, but I do think it kind of makes sense, because Solo has been the guy who knows that he's not that good, and he has surrounded himself by people that can help him win. And when he doesn't get that advantage, he loses. One thing is that this does kind of make his faction a little bit like useless. Like why? Like you all couldn't do anything. Like Tala hit him with the big boot and that's it. What was Tonga Loa doing? Hmm? And one thing is probably you're gonna get another extra tag team added to SmackDown Tag Division anyways. Like either when Tama Tonga returns, maybe you get him in the stable as well. You can get the God back in this tag team division, or you can get JC Mateo and and Tonga Loa in the tag team division, because I do think Tala Tonga is going to be like the personal enforcer of Solo Sikoa. And in the end, he got the pin, but then and then he ran away. I think Jimmy actually was a little bit slow because Tala Tonga was just like not even a feet away from him, and he was like, "Oh, I had to run," and then he ran. They just slowed down, and then they ran him uh, out of SmackDown. And Jimmy got like well kept momentum, because it kind of doesn't make sense that Solo is facing Jimmy, because okay, by feud wise it makes sense, but Jimmy did just lose to JC Mateo like just before SummerSlam. He lost to JC Mateo. It was by distraction, but then he did lose to JC Mateo. And then you had, Paul Heyman being like, "Oh, my plan went away," and Solo Sikoa was like, "Fuck you, man." But then LA Knight came from behind and gave him the BFT, so it puts over LA Knight as well, like gives him a spotlight. But then Braun Breaker from the back hit him with a spear, with a great spear, and then Bronson hit him with a tsunami, and that was it. Like, and I think this sets up LA Knight to lose at Saturday Night's main event, because they have given him a spear, they've given him a tsunami, and people should stop chanting one more time. Our beloved faces. And this gives LA Knight an out, because he's gonna be wobbly because the match is tomorrow, and that will ensure Seth will win. And I think on top of that, they'll probably have Ethan Page also come there and like give LA Knight extra protection. And then after the match, when they're trying to like maybe murder LA Knight, then that's when Roman Reigns comes out and you have his return, and maybe you set up Seth versus Roman at SummerSlam. And maybe, but one thing is, then LA Knight is out of there, because I don't think you can have LA lose and still go after the world championship. I think if LA wins because of Roman's distraction, maybe you save Ethan Page for, something in the future. I think then with that then you can still do Seth versus Roman, and you can have Punk and LA being in the world title picture, maybe a triple threat at SummerSlam. And that's where you can have Seth cash in the match and then pin Punk and become the world champion. I think that's what you can do. So I would say this was a 2 out of 5 SmackDown. I think that is also like giving them a lot, because the tag match was fine, the fatal four way was fine, the jelly roll segment, like it was good, like he had good insults there, and the tag match in the end was fine also. But that was my review. What did you think about this? So tell me in the comment section. If you like this type of content, like this video, share and subscribe. If you don't, then share it with those who do. My social media accounts, which are my Instagram account and my Twitter/X account, links are in the description, so go follow me on that. My UPI ID link, which is shabbat@OKCSC, is also in the description, so go donate any amount of money which you can, which can help me make YouTube a permanent career option. So that was it for me for right now. So thank you, goodbye, अलविदा.